So last week we were focusing, or the first week, we were focusing on 1 point perspective. So one vanishing point. So do you remember when we drew these things the first week? And we did the cube, for instance. Well, this is, I briefly sketched this out today. The cube, if an object is face on, and we're just focusing on one vanishing point, can you see everything disappears to this point? So our line, so I'm going to do this a little bit thicker. So we've got our cube, so this is face on. 1 point perspective, the object has to be face on. So I'm going to go over this in a little bit heavier. Excuse me a minute. Sorry, just go. So can you see how this all goes to this 1 point? So, okay, so is that clear about 1 point perspective, about having one vanishing point?
Yes.
So I just want to go through the next thing that we're going to work on. So just a reminder, last week, again, this was 1 point perspective because it had one vanishing point. You know, everything kind of went to one place.
It is 1 point perspective.
This week, we're going to be doing 2 point perspective.
Oh, cool. Oh.
But I don't want you to be worried about this because it's just an exercise to help you understand. Doesn't have to be perfect. We will make mistakes, happy accidents. I've done this many times and I still have oopses. But by doing this exercise, when you do start doing drawings such as architectural stuff, objects, you know, cups, that kind of thing, then hopefully things will make more sense and you'll get those vanishing points. Thank you.
Could you go back to that other diagram, Julie? The one with the little block and the 1 point, just quickly?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? Could you repeat
Can I
that?
just see that block with the 1 point again?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
I'm okay, thank you, Dean. Okay. So the object is face on, and we've just got the perspective going to 1 point. Everything disappears to this 1 point. It's called the vanishing point, or 1 point perspective. So I did put a few notes together on that link that I've been sending you. And I'm just gonna screen share the notes for a second and go through some of the fundamental rules in 1 point perspective. Okay, so this is a really good image showing the vanishing points. And I've just put together a few rules for 1 point perspective. So that's the box with the red lines that I just showed you. So if you have a visible horizon, your vanishing point must always be on the horizon or it won't work. So there's a really good video that I've put a link in, which you can watch in your own time, which kind of explains that in more detail. So all vanishing lines, so all edges leading away from the viewer must go to the vanishing point.
Right.
So a lot of the time when people draw a cube, they get the lines going in the same direction. which isn't actually accurate. If they're going in the same direction, they won't look like they're getting any smaller, which doesn't really matter if it's, you know, it's not a very deep cube, but it's not technically accurate. They should go to the same vanishing point. Every object must have the surface facing you as well, if you're going to have 1 point perspective. So again, as soon as you start looking at, so if you're looking at a building face on, see if I've got an example of this. I don't have any. Yeah, you're drawing one. If you have a building face on, or if you're looking at, you know, a road like we did with the sketch we did last week, then the houses we drew were face on, so they only had one perspective, 1 point perspective. If we looked at the house from the corner, then there would be two vanishing points, 2 points perspective. So for instance, imagine this is the cottage we drew last week, but we're looking at it from side on view now. So now it has 2 vanishing points rather than 1 if we were looking face on. Whenever we're drawing something like a street scene, we always use construction lines, which you can erase, because this is going to help us a lot. So this is the scene we're going to draw today with 2 vanishing points. And as we start drawing it, it will make a lot more sense. It's one of these things that you kind of have to just do in order to understand it. I've done many lectures of this in art school, and it wasn't until I actually tried to draw it myself it made sense. So that's why we're going to just jump in straight away and start trying to draw it. We will make happy accidents. You can draw this many times. We're not going to ink it until we're sure we've got the lines in the right place. But what we're going to do is use a very light pencil to do our guidelines. So, you know, we talked about the B's and the H's. You want to go more on the H's. So like a 2H or a H or even a 3H. And then we're going to do the actual drawing when we start doing the building. So our guidelines are going to be the H's.
Will a B work?
A B is going to be great for the buildings, but we're going to use a H for the guidelines.
Okay.
Can everybody see the image on my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is an example of 1 point perspective. So everything's disappearing to one source. So everything's straight. So, you know, if there was building in front, it would be face on like we did last week. And we're going to one perspective, 1 point of one exit point. So that's an example of 1 point perspective. We're going to start with an easy one. We're going to do one building.
I'm doing a street scene.
Okay. So we're gonna do a practice on one building, and then we're gonna do the street, the whole street. This is just to get you used to it.
I'm already used to it.
Okay.
Going straight onto the street.
I have done my guidelines in red, so you can see the guidelines that we're gonna draw. You can draw this landscape or portrait. I'm going to do it portrait for now, just so you can see the example next to it. I'm so sorry about coughing. Okay, so I'm going to do mine in red so you can see them. So I'm going to do a line through the center of my page, and then I'm going to turn that into a cross.
Do you want us to use color?
If you have a colored pencil, go for it, because I think it will help just for the practice one. When we do the street scene, we're going to do lines that we're going to erase, but this is just our practice. What did you think of the Buckley scene?
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Only kid in the world that likes Buckleys.
Do you like Buckley's?
Nobody likes Buckleys.
I like it.
So we'd want to have like a 2H pencil, Julie, you said, right?
So I think when we do the real one, say this just practice, you want to do your guidelines in the lightest pencil you have. So a 2H, 3H.
4H.
You know, the higher you get on the H's, the lighter they are.
Yeah.
And then you want to do the actual drawing in one of the B's. And then you can do the shading in one of the darker B's, like a 5B, 4B, 5B.
Right.
4B.
So are those grid lines dead center both ways?
Dead center both ways.
2B would be good for shading.
Thank you, baby.
You can use
Thank
a
you.
2B.
Thank you. You're my assistant, aren't you?
Yep.
The cat. Can you get him off? The cat is playing the piano.
Oh my. They never do that ever again.
Okay.
It hurts Stephanie's.
At the end of my lines, I'm going to leave a little space. I'm just going to put a little dot so I know that it's my 2 vanishing points.
There you go, Iggy. Got him off. Pretty hard to get a cat off.
Now, my guidelines I'm going to do in red so you can see them. Your guidelines, do them faintly, unless you want to see them just for this example. But my guidelines I'm going to do in red just so you can see them. So I'm going to pick a point, not right at the top of my line, maybe a
Sorry,
finger.
Julie. Are the vanishing points complete exactly symmetric, or can they be asymmetric?
They can be asymmetric, but I would say to keep life simple right now, try and do them symmetrical, because once you start doing asymmetrical, you're going into a whole realm of other type of perspective drawing. Okay. So this is where a ruler comes in really handy. So I'm going to take a point. I'm going to leave a little space at the top in case I decide to draw a little bit higher. I'm going to put a little dot there. And then the same distance below. So this is 10 centimeters. Same distance below. So basically made like a north, south, east, and west, I think.
Yeah. North, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
Oh, did you do a little umbrella?
Yeah, the
Oh,
guy.
that's so nicely.
I tried to change mine a little bit.
Okay. Now I'm going to do a second point a little bit higher than my bottom one there. This is just so I can kind of look at the height of my building. The important points are the ones left and right. These are our vanishing points. The height is really irrelevant. It's however high we want to make it. These are the 2 points we're going to be using a lot of. Clear as mud so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to put in some guidelines. I'm going to stay using red for now. Okay, and I'm just going to join the dots. Is that showing up okay on the camera?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No way. Do you like Buckley's? Buckley's, anybody?
I don't think anybody likes Buckley's. I think it's just useful.
I love Buckley's now. You should pack it in my lunch.
You want Buckley's in your lunch?
Yeah. Hundreds of them, thousands, millions, 2 or 3.
Okay.
Now
So the reason why I've done 2 lines at the bottom is with buildings, we tend to look up. There's a whole video on eye lines, which I included in the notes last week. But I don't want to have my center too high. I'll feel like a giant, if that makes sense. So I've kind of done a second line here to make it look like I'm looking up a little bit more than
that's what I do.
looking straight on. Okay.
So
Now-
the higher up your dot on below the center, is that the shorter you are?
Yeah.
So if you're a tiny person, you want to
Is
make everything look taller, you'd be closer?
Yeah. So you can really play with perspective and make the building look like, huge.
I like playing with perspective.
But I'm just raising it a little bit here.
I like playing with perspective.
Okay.
I don't really know.
So we talked yesterday about everything as it gets further away, it gets a lot smaller. So our first building, if we were going to do a street scene, it's actually going to be almost half the width across, because everything else is going to get significantly smaller. So our first building is going to be pretty large. So I'm going to go almost halfway across my first line. So I'm going to put a little marker there. So I'm actually going to draw a line. So this isn't a guideline. This is going to be a real line. Roughly, you could measure it if you want to be really technical.
I'm going to do my guidelines in red like you.
Yeah.
That I use. They're not easy guidelines. Boom, 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 boom.
So it's going to get harder when we do the street scene, but for now, this is our building. I'm not even going to worry about putting a roof on just yet, because I want you to focus on where we're going to put the windows. Okay.
What's the most important? Wait, the most important part in drawing is to have fun.
Yeah, have fun, exactly. So I'm going to help you with the first set of windows. So the first set of windows, I'm going to go back to our vanishing point. I'm going to put my ruler on my vanishing point. This is where the bottom of my building is. I'm keeping the corner of my ruler on my vanishing point, and I'm moving it up slightly. I'm going to draw myself a new guideline, both sides, for the base of my windows.
Yep.
Oh, whoops. Going from a new baseline to each vanishing point. Don't forget, as the windows get further back, they're going to appear to be smaller. So my first window is gonna, this way is gonna be wider than the second one. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. Move you, baby. So I'm gonna put in more guidelines. This is why we do it. When we do the real one, we're just gonna do it in pencil so we can erase it.
Are you eventually going to erase all of them?
My second window, the lines are going to be closer together.
I have no idea.
Because the window is further away. We're not going to worry about this being super, super accurate for now. So this is where we can actually draw it in now. We've created our guidelines. Let's draw it in.
How do you know how much smaller to make the second window?
I'm eyeballing it. We know we've got this part correct. With regards to how narrow, I tend to do, to begin with, I kind of halve it near enough.
Half it? Oh,
No,
okay.
near enough halve it, yeah.
Oh,
Because look how much, this is going to be all the rest of our buildings here. This little space here. Now the homework is, I want you to you can use a photograph because it's too cold. I want you to try and draw your house. Or if you live in an apartment building, draw the corner of your apartment building, something that shows perspective. So you can go take a picture.
So you want me to draw this house?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
But using, you can choose 1 or 2 point perspective. So you could draw your house face on, so if you only got 1 point perspective, or you could draw it 2 point perspective from a corner, from the side on.
I'm doing 2 point perspective.
But just a quick sketch. I don't want like loads of shading and detail, just the basic.
Can I do loads of shading and detail?
You can do loads of shading and detail, yeah.
But she doesn't want to see that out of the way.
But you don't need to do, yeah. It's just to get a feel for something in real life. But it's so cold, like just go take a picture, or if necessary, just take a stock image from somewhere. It doesn't have to be yours. Okay. So have a go in your own time of doing the upper windows. So again, I'm going to rest my ruler on the vanishing point. I'm going to lower the line. I'm going to give myself a guideline. Same on the other side. You can put this back on the vanishing point.
idea.
They cross in the middle at the same point.
Very interesting.
It is interesting. It's mentally challenging.
Da Vinci made art a science, like with all these kinds of measurements.
You can see why, hey? So the other thing to think about is the edge of the building, so where the window is touching the edge of the building, this part is a lot smaller than this part because it's further away, so it looks like it's closer. I've got a little fly buzzing around me.
Don't kill it. It's an animal.
It's a little, like, I don't know what it is, like a fruit fly. It just keeps trying to go up my nose.
Then you kill it.
So the reason why I drew a little sun here is so you knew which side to put the shadow on. This side. But don't worry too much about the shadow just yet.
I don't worry about it.
I'm only gonna, on this rough sketch, I'm just gonna show you how to do a second building and get the perspective so that when we do our street scene, okay. Oh, you want to show yours? It's pretty good. There you go. Yeah.
Guidelines I use.
Let's comment. I like the guy at the bus stop with the umbrella. That's really cute. Yeah.
You're hot?
Yeah.
I might try to do some watercolor.
Okay. So if it's helpful to you and you didn't do your guidelines in red, you could try going over the building now in ink and erasing your guidelines. Kind of helps you see things more clearly. But I didn't want to just show you how to make it look like there's a building next to it and what happens with the side of the building to make this building like it looks like you can see the side, like if there's a little alleyway or something. That's a different measurement in itself. So let's draw another building. So I'm going to go up to my first two guidelines. So this is my new building here. Now imagine this is an alleyway or this is the side of the second building here. How I get the side of the building correct is I take this point, I go back to my vanishing point over here, and I draw a line from this point to this point.
And it would be helpful if you have a ruler. Very helpful.
Same here, this point to this point. So this is my new building. I'm going to put a shadow in so you know that this is the side of the building. So imagine like this is like a little alleyway down there, or there's a little separation between this guy and this guy. But can you see how these lines are important to get the perspective? So this point to here, this point to here, it's always to these two vanishing points. Everything goes to these two vanishing points. So I can put the windows in. Maybe I'll just put one big window in. Maybe I'll put a door in.
No way I would have ever eyeballed this without doing all these lines.
Well, I'm hoping you find it interesting, you know.
I find it very interesting.
I find it's really helpful, Julie. I opened my notebook from your July 5th, 2021 class on perspective.
Yeah.
I can show you to remind you at some point not to interrupt this, but it was so useful.
Oh,
where you did a single point perspective centered and then an off-center vanishing point, and it just made everything look so much better, you know, the trees, the stream.
So you can use this grid to do, you know, lots of different things. You can use it, you know, to put trees in, and then you get the heights right as they go back. You know, you could put trees on the street or lampposts, you know, or flagpoles. Or
I did that.
yeah, you did. Dean did a little bus stop.
So you can see here.
Yeah, you did a little bus stop.
And
this is, I feel like this is like it, you know, I'm showing Dean this stuff now because, you know, this is stuff you don't normally learn at your age. So I think it's really useful for you to get a little step ahead of it, you know.
Very useful. Very useful.
Have to go to bed in a minute, baby.
Oh God, I'm lost. Okay.
Okay, where would you like me to recap? I'm going to go over all of this in ink now. Just want to put something underneath it so I don't. Can I have a scrap bit of paper, Dean? You got a bit that you don't care about somewhere?
I don't care about that.
Can I use that?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay, I'm going to ink this now. So hopefully. So this is. This is my first building. Okay, so this is the first one. So Leanne, I'm going to recap the second one. Is this the one that?
Yeah, I got lost there when you were doing that one.
Okay, so we're using the same guidelines to the same vanishing point.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's this same guideline here.
Mm-hmm.
So I start by doing my 2 vertical lines. And I'm gonna put my vanishing point lines go into this point. But to make it look like you can see the side of the building, I'm gonna take the edge of my building and line it up with the vanishing point on the opposite side. Same as here, this point here, the vanishing point on the opposite side. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If you did it straight across, it wouldn't look right.
No, right.
So
yeah.
the reason why I'm doing this is because at some point on our Monday class, I would like us to do some paintings of maybe some little cottages or,
Wait, you have a Monday?
you know, the snow scenes. Like I've got a cute little picture of a cottage, and it's useful to know where vanishing points are, so they look kind of more realistic.
Are those virtual classes, Julie?
Yeah, on Mondays. Yeah, Monday morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I find vanishing points can be very helpful in your career. They really can, and you're learning structures, animals, maybe.
Would you like to have a go at doing a street scene?
Yes.
If we do it all in pencil, you can always erase it. You want to have a go? Okay.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. I love painting. This is my fantasy street. I did put a side on my building. I don't think I'm going to do this time. I wanted it to be like Times Square kind of thing with it, but you can do this part in the middle, or you don't have to. But this is my fantasy street. So, you know, these are my little shops. I got a movie theater, a motel. Some of my buildings, I'm imagining that's like across the road to this one. But if you just look at it, this is my first building. So this is a busy street scene, but when you break it down, half of the page is one building. These are really tiny in comparison, but it looks in perspective. It just shows how much smaller things actually get. If you look at the, you see the sides here I was talking about? If I was to put my ruler at my vanishing point here, I see how the side lines up with that vanishing point. And this side lines up with this vanishing point.
Yep.
Whereas the side of this building lines up with this vanishing point, and the side of this building lines up with this vanishing point. Now you can alternate the heights. So some of them I did them taller, some of them I did them shorter. As long as you go from the two vanishing points, it will always look correct.
So Julie, which vanishing point, when you're doing the one on the left, how do you decide which vanishing point you need to be referring to?
So if the
one on the other side all the time?
On the side, yeah, you always go to the side.
Okay.
So if it's going that way, it goes to this vanishing point. If it's the other side of the building, it's going to go to the other
Okay.
side. So everything, all my windows, everything is going to this point. And on that side too. But we're going to draw this together from scratch.
Okay.
Okay. And I can refer back to this at any point.
I did my watercolor, my drinking water.
Okay.
Oh, just neat.
So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. How's that for? Is that close enough for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, can you remember the first step?
The cross.
Yes. So, you can draw yours in, I say, in one of the H pencils, or just draw it lightly.
Is what we're doing in the notes, Julie?
Yes. With the I'll add this in the grid system.
I've used the grid system many times. Very useful grids.
You start with a cross. Is that showing up on the camera?
It's pretty light.
Okay, I'll do mine. Do you want me to do it in red again? Does that show up better?
It is, I can see it. Is it, but my question is are you centering them again, or is that off center?
No, everything is going to be centered. So everything is going to be in the middle.
That's good, Mom. Mom.
Is there some way you can show us the final picture at on the same screen? I know.
The only thing is it'll make this smaller.
No, that's right. Okay.
I can keep flip-flopping.
No,
It'll make this smaller, that's the only thing. So you might not be able to see this in detail enough. If I put them, you know what I mean? I've got to kind of come up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But this is in the notes. So if you want to see the original, it's in the notes. You want to pull the notes up?
I don't have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't have the one with the clock. Are we doing the one with the clock?
No, we're gonna do a new one together from scratch.
Not the clock one.
No.
The one that's in the notes?
The one that's in the notes, yeah.
You could do the clock one if you want.
I'm not gonna do it because it's
Yeah.
I put that centerpiece, that might throw them off a bit. So
yeah, but if you want to, you could.
Okay.
You don't have to.
So I'm going to just dip this line down. I'm going to put a marker about there. I'm going to put another marker in about the same place at the bottom, but then I'm going to do one finger space and raise that up a little bit. I just always raise the lower line up just so it doesn't look like we're a giant. You know, it just gives us more of an eye level perspective. So let's join the dots. I hope this is interesting. I know it's requiring a bit of thought, but I'm hoping that this gives you, you know, a better understanding of perspective and why we do things a certain way.
It does.
Will you be sending us the recording?
I'll be sending you the recording.
Oh, that's good.
I've also sent you a couple of really good YouTube videos, which I found very helpful in the past as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank
Other
you.
people explaining. There's one guy who's basically taken loads of pictures of different street scenes and from different angles, showing the 2-point perspective from slightly different angles. It's really, really useful. And he's done things like a box with a lid open to show you the perspective of where the vanishing points are for those. So if you draw something like a box with a lid open, you can see where the vanishing point is. So everybody should have a diamond.
Julie, I might actually catch the recording of this.
Are you okay?
I'm grand. I'm just really tired. Yeah. I've been traveling today and stuff, but yeah, so I might just, I've done the first one though, and I'm delighted with it. So
yeah. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it came out actually pretty well when I rubbed down all of the lines. So, but yeah, I think I'll call it a night actually.
It's a lot of thinking this time of night, right?
Sorry, I'm trying to see. Yeah, for the week that's been in it for me. So, but so much, and yeah, I'll see you next week.
Okay, no problem. Take care, Jean.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jean.
Okay, it's time for bed, Dean.
Wait, the class is finished?
No, it's time for you to go to bed. I'll record the rest for you.
Night, Dean.
Good night, Dean. Good night, Dean. Have a good sleep.
We'll finish it together tomorrow, okay? You've got a big day tomorrow. You've got our pencils and pizza class.
Okay. This to dry out.
Yeah, put that lid on and go tell Daddy you're ready for bed, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for being patient with Dean, everybody. Okay, so about halfway, we're going to put another guideline.
Julie, I just have a quick question. I went to print off your page 3 or your week 3. From the center point down to the bottom, did you say that was 2 inches?
I didn't really do any specific measurements.
Oh, I thought I heard you say that. Okay.
I just do I just make the bottom point a little bit higher. So I put the point there and then I raise up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's put a second guideline in for like where our windows are going to go. So just going to leave a little space. This is going to be like the top of my window. And then I'm going to put another guideline in. So I'm going to put in a few windows at the top. So you can make your windows any size. It could just be one long window at the top. I tend to keep my windows above the center line.
What's the double line? Just the first one above center.
Here?
Yeah, what are those double? Yeah, the two close double ones.
So this is window 1, window 2.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
did you measure where they cross the center pole?
yeah.
So it's the same distance for the upper and lower window?
It's roughly, I didn't measure it perfectly. You can do. I just eyeballed this distance. These are the points I'm concentrating on. I didn't want to make it too complicated. You know, it's still fairly complicated. But
That's an understatement, that one is.
Oh my goodness. Yes, that's an
I don't want to
understatement.
be I don't want to belittle this in any way, but I do this in my kids' class. And they don't get it right. They tend to just dive in and do it. They don't get it perfectly right, but it does give them an introduction to perspective. So this is one of the lessons I've been doing in my kids' class for about 10 years now, because they love designing their own little street, and they you know, some of them make it a street in outer space, some of them make it, you know, all their favorite toy shops, or, you know, they love doing it, but it's just a little introduction in perspective. And the nice thing is the younger ones just kind of wing it and do it, and then the older kids kind of put a bit more attention into it. So it is fun. Just try to enjoy it. So try not to worry too much about exact measurements. Okay, so I'm going to make the second window about half the width of my first one, maybe a little bit less. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, this is where I can start getting my fine liner out, or your darker pencil. I'm going to do this in ink just so it shows up for you. Is that showing up on the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about if it doesn't come out perfect or you have a little oops. It's just about what we're learning about it. I just hope that, you know, this helps with your future artwork, painting or drawing, because you'll just have a slightly better understanding about perspective. I didn't learn this until quite later on, and I wish I'd learned it earlier. So I'm going to make myself a little shop door. And take my perspective up a little bit. I want to give myself a bit more of a pavement. I'm going to take this up. Give myself a front door.
So did you pick up your cold or whatever at your paint night, Julie?
No, Dean's had something from school, and thought I was avoiding it, but he gets in bed and cuddles me every night, you know. Yeah, it just came on today, but luckily I wasn't, you know, I haven't, because I've been back and forth to the hospital all week seeing Ken. I think I'm just a bit run down, to be honest. Been working a lot of hours, and
You're doing so much.
yeah, and then say Ken got sick and we had to call an ambulance on Monday, and it was all very exciting and a bit scary, and you know, they were talking surgery on Tuesday, so I was just kind of managing the fort, and I've just a bit run down, I think, more than anything.
I can imagine.
But it's best to get it now than when I go back to England. So this is my like little shop front. I'm going to put a little line there for the front door. Could have picked it up at the hospital actually, but yeah, Dean has been sick, but I was double masking at the hospital. This is a reminder. Sorry, I don't know whether you heard that or not. I've got my secretary Alexa giving me reminders. I think once you get the guidelines in, you can start having a bit of creative fun with this, you know. I offered to do a painting for a friend who's just got married. And I said, you know, pick a favorite place. And she just sent me this picture of a scene in Bristol with like 1 million houses. And I was like, yeah, don't do architecture for this exact reason. I don't paint architecture. But it's very nice, but pick something else. Hills and trees, that's all I want to do.
Did you do the show on Saturday at the library?
I did, yeah.
How did it go?
Yeah, it went well. You know, it sold a fair few paintings actually, and I sold some cards. Yeah, I made about $300. That was quite good, you know. So, you know, I took about 50 pictures. So I think I was hoping to get rid of some more, but I still, you know, was quite pleased with selling some of them. It was last ones to bring back. So and it was fun. I just love seeing other people's artwork, you know.
Oh, so it wasn't just you?
No, it was other people.
Yeah. I'd love to go to any other one you have. It would be fun.
Oh.
Do you ever show them on your own?
I haven't done for a while because of the cost. I used to do a fair few galleries, but yeah, it's just the cost really of doing a show, you know.
I was sorry that I didn't make it. I was just caught up in things with the family and whatnot. So I'm sorry I didn't make it after all.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It was on my calendar.
Yeah, it was on mine too.
No,
I intended.
Julie, the little mat in front of the door.
Yeah, it didn't go.
Are the
great.
slopes go to the left? Do they go to the left vanishing point?
Yeah, they should do. Yeah, I tried to eyeball it, and I should have.
It's a lesson into the value of what we're doing.
Yeah, I make oopses, so that was my little oops. I was getting over creative there. Yeah, the lesson is don't try and eyeball it.
Even if it's only just a little tiny boot mat.
Yeah, you can mess it up. It's one of those don't do as I do as I say. Was it? That's what my dad always used to say to me. Don't do as I do as I say. Yeah, in my kids' class, I'd get people like the kids racing ahead, like, oh, look, I've done all the windows and they're all exactly the same size. Like, yeah, as they no longer look like windows.
But you taught me something, just the observation on your oops on the mat taught me how to do it. I didn't know what to have done.
There we go. I did it on purpose. My oops was deliberate. Not really, but does anybody want to show me what they've done so far?
Well, I'm going to be brave and just show you, but I have to apologize because I wanted to catch up with you. So I wasn't using the ruler all the time.
Oh, look at that.
So
there you go.
So now I'm going back and trying to fix it and use straighten those lines because I was just moving fast because I was afraid I was getting behind. Anyway, but I've got the idea now, the second time through. So thank you.
Excellent. There you go. You did it.
I'm working on it. It's working.
Oh, Jane, look, by George, I think she's got it. Amazing. Yeah,
I love it. Like it's.
Oh yeah, yours is really neat.
The geometry of it all, right?
Yeah.
Angles and stuff. Once you figure out where you want them.
Yeah. Then you can start getting creative, you know, put a little pussycat in the window or something, and you know. I want you to have some fun with it as well.
once you figure out how to do it, then it's better.
You know, give yourselves little shop signs or something. You know, what am I gonna call this? What should I call this? I'll call this Julie's
Art shop. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah, Julie's art shop. Perfect.
Yeah.
You put a little cat in the window.
I put a cat up there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought it was a plant, but it looked like a cactus.
A little easel there, not in perspective because it didn't measure my lines, but there you go. There's Julie's art shop. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with who's in the windows here.
Right.
You could have like a life drawing going on upstairs in one of the little nudie person doing a life drawing model. So you can have a lot of fun with this.
It's like flower boxes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put a little lip on my roof here. Not very much. I'm hoping you'll just get in the habit of taking everything off that vanishing point. If I put a little roof on there.
Many years ago, Julie, there was a painting class at the Oakville School of Art, and it was a street scene, and I got all my buildings right, and I was happy with the perspective and the street light.
Great.
And then I painted in somebody on a bicycle, but that was the size, it's like the giant and Gulliver's Travels. So after getting everything right in the buildings, then I built the person on the bike was way out of proportion to everything else. So it was
a bit soul destroying, yeah. So I'm going to do another little building here. Now, remember what I said about the sides of the building. The sides of the building have to go in the opposite vanishing point. So if my building's going this way, the sides of my buildings have to go to this one.
Can you say that as a rule that I can write down? So what's the rule? So
the rule is, if your building is going to the right, the side of the building's vanishing points have to go to the left vanishing point. So the building's heading towards the right, disappearing to the right, the sides have to disappear to the left.
Did you use that theory for the main building too?
So this one, the sides, because this side is heading towards here. So this side is the same vanishing point. So this is the left side of this building, and it's going to the left vanishing point. So left side of this building, it's going to the left vanishing point. Right side of the building, going to the right vanishing point. So if I put in another one, let's put in another building. That's the taller one. There's my second building. So the left side of that building has to go to my left vanishing point.
Oh, I'm clueless on this part.
So can you see this one here?
Mm-hmm.
This side is going all the way to there.
Oh, I see.
How did you manage to get Julie's art shop centered perfectly?
Because I've done this many times and done it wrong many times. I think I've got my 10,000 hours of writing it wrong.
I get it now. Cool.
I think this one's going to be Blockbuster. I'm going to bring back Blockbuster. This could be a whole street of like Julie's shops. Maybe have Julie's Meditation Center.
Julie's Bakery.
Julie's Bakery. Yeah.
Julie's Chickens.
Yeah.
Julie's Poultry.
Julie's Eggs.
Julie's Spa.
Julie's Bar, yeah.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips, yeah. I don't really like fish though, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, you don't?
What kind of a Brit are you?
Yeah.
Don't eat seafood, yeah. Okay, so this will be
I wish I was in Oakville. Downtown Oakville has great buildings to do this with.
yeah.
Next time we're down, we'll be looking at the angles.
You will. Tell you what, you get a little bit obsessed after a while.
Yeah.
It becomes a new obsession. I'm gonna put like a billboard on the side of this building.
Oh, eraser's terrible.
There you go. There's my yoga place there.
I think you better put in a Boston pizza.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a calorie-free pizza restaurant. In fact, you burn calories by eating my pizza. That's what's going.
You can have a yoga studio next to the pizza shop.
There's my yoga.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you already got it.
What kind of shops are you gonna have?
Cupcake, cookie.
Excellent.
A dress shop.
Oh, that's nice. A dress shop.
Shoe store.
Kathy's Creations. There's my little meditation person there. It looks like a snowman, but it was supposed to be somebody meditating. There you go, I fixed it, Susan. Kind of. It's now the right angles for the little mat. Are we getting the hang of it, at least a little bit?
Yeah. So
This is great.
Yeah.
We are all being very mindful.
Good. I know you can't think about anything else when you're concentrating on measuring. So it's kind of interesting as you get further back how small you have to make things.
Yes, I should have left more space between my first two buildings because now they're getting really close together.
But that's okay, you know, because they would appear to be closer together the further away they are anyway.
Yeah, I just meant like for the detail, if you're gonna. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Big sigh.
I'm exhausted.
Oh. Well, you don't have to finish it tonight.
No, I don't think I can.
Well, it's just an introduction more than anything into 2-point perspective. As long as you've learned something from it, and you know, hopefully it will be something to bear in mind for future artwork.
Absolutely.
So I find it quite interesting.
I think I like nature better.
Me too.
You can add in a few branches or add in a hill or
Julie, can
a
I,
tree.
if there's a minute, I'll show you the vanishing point perspective you did in nature a year ago.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah.
And it, like, just to Leanne's point, like even in nature, it just makes it look so real.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Yeah, if you have it handy.
Whenever.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Can I spotlight you? Yeah.
Sure. Again, it's in this was a class you did in July 2021 on the top one is a single center point perspective, and the second one below is off center single point.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
See how much
that's right.
Yeah.
How the trees look so much more real, and
yeah. Oh, look at your lovely notes. That's fantastic.
I remember that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that too.
Yeah.
So it applies in nature as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how it just makes it look so much better. Excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry. The bonus of virtual, you don't have to cancel if you're sick. Is anybody stuck on anything? Can they need any help at the moment? Does it make sense about the size of the buildings going to that opposite vanishing point?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost have to erase. I get confused with all my lines.
You're not the only one. Yeah, I find the guidelines sometimes are not helpful. Sometimes you need to erase them.
Definitely.
I found that was the most challenging thing when I did this with the kids. They just got a little bit confused with all the guidelines.
I don't know how you manage 5 stores on the right side. I can barely get in 3, well, a tiny, tiny 4th.
You do have to go, it's surprising how small you have to go quite quickly.
Yeah, really.
So if you think the first building is half the size, it's half of your paper.
Yes.
The other 4 stores are it's the other half.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could just spend absolutely hours on this, like putting in little hidden objects, you know. Do you remember those Seek and Find pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, Dean's got a book where you have to look for little things, and they're so intricate. I mean, people must just spend months and months and months drawing those things.
In the Scholastic magazines, all those hidden pictures.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could put a lot of humor into this if you wanted to. Yeah.
That's what brings out the artist personality.
Yeah, you could have a lot of fun with this.
I wish I'd thought known we were, I guess if I looked at the notes, I'd known we were doing this. I was down at the distillery district until
Nice.
dawn, and the fog rolled in, so it really looked like a Victorian sort of London, you know, down there with the Christmas decorations, and then the fog really started getting quite thick, the ground fog. So, but to take some pictures of the buildings there for this, it would have been.
Let's say I've done this many times in my kids' class, and I'm just amazed at their creativity. Like one lad did a street in outer space, and it was like flying saucers going overhead, and you know, there was like aliens shopping and stuff, and then another kid did like a kind of like a prehistoric world, like the dinosaurs took over again, and some of the buildings were kind of broken down, and there was like dinosaurs with little handbags going shopping and stuff. And
oh, I love the kids' minds.
I just love what they came up with. And Some of them did like a whole street of just candy toy shops, and yeah, it's really fun what they come up with.
I think I've hit the wall.
Yeah, I think I have too.
Oh my goodness.
Lots of fun though.
Yeah, now the creative part is
Yeah.
What you're going to design and everything.
Yeah, what are you going to put in your window?
Yeah. I've got the cookie jar.
Well, everybody, that's the end of week 2. Carry on filling in all of your buildings. Be inventive. What are your shops going to be like? I look forward to seeing your finished pieces next week, and I will see you for week 3. Bye.